kind of bold. And plus the jolly fat one had gone and caught a cold. Mrs. Sweetie looked at Mister and said, Santa, ain't no way you're gonna be healthy for your great big day. You gotta make some plans, you gotta figure what to do. There's a whole lot of babies who are counting on you. A whole lot of babies that are counting on you. Now Santa had a fever and he shook from toe to head. He knew he couldn't fly if he could leave his bed. He made the preparations, he had gifts enough for all. Was feeling mighty poorly, it was hard to make a crawl. Time to make some plans, time to figure what to do, 'cause a whole lot of babies are counting on you.
A whole lot of babies are counting on you.
He called the darling Ice Queen to tell him, come on by. He knew that Ice Queen Brendan would surely give a try. But Brendan was a shaking, and Brendan was a sneezing. He was no better fit for a journey that was freezing. No, he had to make some plans, had to figure what to do, when a whole lot of babies are counting on you.
A whole lot of babies are counting on you.
The snow just kept on falling. The world was white and still. The excitement just kept building to that same old magic thrill. The elves were packing bags and making relay stops so that all the children's presents would be at the proper spot. Santa had to make some plans, had to figure what to do. It's hard having babies who are counting on you.
Hard having babies that are counting on you.
In all his days of living, he had never missed a night. He longed with all his being to deliver sweet delight from the elves and frisky fairies who'd worked hard the whole year long to divine each small child's pleasure and to bless it with a song. Santa had to keep on planning, had to figure what to do, so whole world's babies wouldn't be blue.
Whole world's babies wouldn't be blue.
But I gotta tell you this, it was starting to look bad. Could it be that this was one time all the children would be sad? Who could Santa send? Who was strong enough to deal? You can't just dole the presents out, there's love you got to feel. You gotta make some plans, gotta figure what to do, when a world full of babies is counting on you.
A world full of babies is counting on you.
Dad! Santa's teenage daughter was hopping on one foot as she struggled to pull up her high heel boot. It's time for this travesty of questioning to end. Push has come to shove and it's me you've got to send. No more making plans, no more figuring what to do. There's a world full of babies just counting on you.
A world full of babies just counting on you.
Well, you go, Santa said. You've never driven a sleigh. You've never driven anything since you wrecked the Chevrolet. This is not an easy job. There's much that needs to be done. You gotta haul the loot and you're not dressed to take a run. Still got a plan, gotta figure what to do to make the Christmas dreams of these babies come true.
Make the Christmas dreams of these babies come true.
Yuka said, Dad, I've gone with you for years. I've eaten all the cookies and I've calmed the children's fears. I know the ins and outs of the apartments and the houses, and I've learned to throw the crumbs to all the little mouses. I know how to plan, how to figure what to do when the whole world's babies are counting on you.
The whole world's babies are counting on you.
She gave a loud whistle and some reindeer came dashing. It wasn't just Rudolph, every nose here was flashing. They pulled a black sleigh that was piled high with gifts. Though they slid to a stop, nothing fell in the drifts. The sleigh was covered in stars. It sparkled and glistened. Yuko smiled and gave orders, to which the deer listened. The CD she had chosen sang loud of Christmas cheer. The elves started getting jerky, and so did the deer. This Santa was laughing. She knew all along her Yuko would make the run with aplomb. She gave her a lunch and a hug and a kiss, and touching her nose said, "Now be a good miss. There are presents enough for each boy and each girl to make joyous each Christmas in each part of the world. Move swiftly, move fast, make Dad and me proud, and turn down the CD, you know it's too loud." From her head to her toes, she was dressed in red leather with a long velvet cloak to keep warm in the weather. Her earmuffs were chrism, her gloves, they were scarlet. She looked, thought her father, rather much like a harlot. She looked, thought her father. She packed a mean sleigh, though, taking care with each sack. She moved right along, keeping time right on track. She's fey as the breeze and as light as a thistle. She certainly had mastered that old reindeer whistle. She gave it again, and they rose to the sky, just as in every story they started to fly. The reindeer were stunned. They had waited a lifetime. Now it was their turn to fly into dream time. Tonight, when folks listened, ears cocked to the roofs, the sound children sought would be their silver-shod hooves. Who could imagine on this eve for Yule it would be these 8 deer with such ultimate cool? Yuko laughed and she sang as she flew through the dark, dropping presents by trees and hope into each heart. She drew blankets to chins and stopped by each bed, weaving dreams of a future into every small head. She did a good job. She paid homage to Santa. And the only time she dropped things was that one time in Atlanta. But she got that together. Nothing precious was lost. She aimed at perfection, not counting the cost. She knew what it meant for her dad to be missing, this night full of magic and old lovers kissing. She thrilled that she'd managed to take on the task, to do what was needed, not wait to be asked. She knew she was privileged to be able to serve, and she served Yuko style, with enough and great verve. And it's so often true, the gift is greater to the giver. Joy not only fills your heart, it removes the bile from your liver. And when that guy we've heard of in that old Christmas story caught a glimpse of this year's Santa, he hollered, "Ooh, glory!" She had headphones on and she rocked and she wiggled, and when she turned rather quickly, there were choice bits that jiggled. And the grin that she gave him had him thinking of his wife and the blessings they had gathered in their long and happy life. So he watched as she finished, adding boxes, crimping bows, then disappeared up the chimney like a long, slender rose. Back in the sleigh, they flew toward tomorrow, leaving happiness behind where once there'd been sorrow. And because she knew all reindeer gloried in fame, she let that old guy hear each reindeer's name. Yo Rudolph, Girl Ice, Yo Grouchman and Troubles, Hey Mover and Shaker, Go Bootsy and Bubbles. We've done a night's work, now head for the stars. The children wait Christmas on Venus and Mars. But I heard her exhort as she disappeared, let peace be the gift that you give this year. But lest you forget, Yuko's over the top. She was also heard screaming, Christmas this year will rock.
Woo!